Do you struggle with blunders and the frustration that they can bring to you, or your body going into fight or flight mode while playing chess, either over the board or online? Do you have difficulty mentally recovering after a loss or a game that you played? Or do you have trouble taking your mind off of chess, whether it's at night or just once you're done playing? These are all very common struggles that every chess player probably will be confronted with at one point or another. And I decided to make this video from a message from a viewer of mine that messaged me on chess.com. We're going to go ahead and read this message. Okay, so it says, "Hi, Wesley. Thank you for all the great content on YouTube." No problem. No, but seriously, I'm kind of struggling with the topic, or actually two, and it would be great if you could make a video about it. I'm playing OTB for a couple of years now. I like the classical games where you have a lot of time to think about moves. Well, as you know, chess can be confrontational. If I play against a stronger opponent and I play well for myself and my opponent wins, I'm really fine with that. I just see it as a useful lesson. But when I make a stupid, unnecessary blunder, it's so hard, especially because most of the time pressure isn't even an issue. A week and a half ago, I had a game. I made a blunder, at least what I thought. After a couple hours of playing, it was a stupid pin through a check. So the details aren't really important, but basically he made a blunder and I believe resigned a winning game. And he says here, it was hard to deal with all of this. It was also an external competition. So I only screwed it up for myself, but potentially for the team as well. I take chess maybe too serious. But it's probably because I love it and make progress and want to do so. But I need to find balance. I tend to be nervous before, and I always wear thick clothes. Otherwise, I literally tremble. Even if I try to focus on my breath to get my body relaxed, it's like my body doesn't care and reacts to it like a fight or flight. And then the matches are in the evening, and the next day I'm always tired, and my brain in the night goes back all the time to the chessboard, especially when I lost for no reason. I think it has to do with finding it hard to lose, of making stupid moves if I don't have to. I know even if you play on a very high level, it can still happen. So if you can find a way to accept these things, etc., etc. Okay, so number one, let's start with this. Why blunders hurt so much or are so frustrating for you. My biggest response to this is pretty simple, which is just that the blunder itself is not really the problem. It's the way that you're framing it or the story that you're telling yourself about the blunder, like many things in your life, right? One person can react to something completely different than the other person. One event can make a person suffer tremendously, whereas the other person just kind of hunches it off and is like, all right. Blunders happen because you are where you are with your chess. And this is really, really, really powerful, recognizing that you are where you are in your chess, in your life. But let's just use chess right now. There's a gap between where you are and where you want to be. And that is what's so frustrating, is I am here, this level, this rating, whatever it is. Oh my God, my camera keeps freezing. I'm here. And this is where I think I should be, but I'm not. And so recognizing that should doesn't really mean anything or do anything good for ourselves. It doesn't mean studying, improving, fixing our errors. It actually is like a direct, it's blocking that or preventing that, like in a big way. Just recognize that I am where I am. Now, what mistakes am I making? How can I improve? And just kind of have fun with it. So yeah, just kind of pay attention to the mental chatter and the automatic thoughts that are going on in regards to your blunders. This does kind of call upon like a sense of introspection and detachment from your own thoughts, just recognizing that you're here, like, regardless of your thoughts. Life is happening regardless of your thoughts. And you can just kind of start to see your thoughts as basically the mumblings of a 5-year-old child. That's basically how insane they are. And that's how insane they are for most everyone. I'm talking about specifically like the automatic just chatter that goes on your head. So that's kind of just a symptom, I think. The blunders and having a really hard time with them is just a symptom of probably an overactive mental activity and thinking. Number 2 is fight or flight mode. And this, like I said, happens to probably every person at one point or another. You might be in like a really intense blitz or bullet match with 2 seconds left on the clock. Like, yeah, I'm guaranteeing you your heart is probably racing a little bit. And the problem is when, and the problem, and the problem is when your body goes into this fight or flight mode, basically in any sort of circumstance, in any team match, just like this person is describing, you know, they're shaking so much that they have to wear like thick clothes. This is your body telling you like something bad is happening and we need to react to this appropriately. And once again, it kind of ties back to the mental commentary that you have going on. Your body doesn't know it's just a game. Your mind is telling your body, this is not just a game. This is really intense. This is scary. I have to win, all these things. And really, like, all of those just do nothing good for your chest. So I'll drop a quick example here. All right. I was watching one of the Remote Chess Academy's videos. I really liked, I love that guy's videos. He was talking about Tal, a tournament where Mikhail Tal beat, he won the tournament. So he won the tournament. He beat Garry Kasparov. He beat Karpov and played like a brilliant attacking chess. And I guess he actually gave he said something about the tournament, and I'm like paraphrasing here, but the quote basically went, I just walked around and smoked cigarettes, something like that. Tal was already at like the end of his career. Kasparov was, I think, now like the reigning champion. So that mindset is not only super dangerous as a chess player, it's like dangerous in the good sense. When you don't care, when you have let go, it's like opening the task manager in your computer and closing down all the apps. And then your GPU is freed up and you are able to like calculate, play like a monster. You might find moves you've never would have otherwise seen or thought of. So all this mental like thought chatter is just bogging you down, and your body going into the fight or flight mode is just a symptom of that. It's just a symptom of that. So my advice would be to take a step back. That might be literal, like get up from the chessboard. If you're playing a long classical match, you have the time, get up, go walk around. Recognize that you are, after all, sitting down playing a board game. You're breathing, you're alive. You know, there's all sorts of ways to go about this. The person also mentions that even the breathing techniques aren't helping him. And I have a sort of analogy that might be useful for this. Alan Watts, I think, is the first person who said this. I think there's a concept that trying to like stop your thoughts or force yourself into a calm state by breathing and all these things can kind of be like trying to smooth water with an iron. Right? Imagine you have a pond of water and there's ripples in it and it's kind of agitated. Anything that you do is only going to make it worse. The only thing to let the water become still is to just do nothing. And that might sound really hard because basically our minds don't know how to do nothing. So you can breathe and that might work for some people, but if it's not working, then sort of the backdoor solution to this is by recognizing whatever's happening right now in this moment, you can't change it anyways. Whatever is already happening, you can't change it. So if you're feeling anxious, if you're tense, if you're whatever, you know, just recognize it. Just recognize it. Don't try to fight it. Just like you're, you know, lunging into the ocean. If you tense your body up, you're going to get thrashed by the ocean waves. If you relax your body completely, you're going to, I mean, you still might like get sucked into the ocean and, you know, get hurt a little bit, but it's going to be a lot more of a pleasant experience if you're limp, relaxed. All right. Number 3, which is how to recover mentally after the game. And this is kind of like the same thing as, you know, you get off of work and you can't let go of work. You know, you might notice people often go out with colleagues for drinks and they just keep talking about work, there tends to be a fixation on things. The mind doesn't like letting go of certain things, even if it makes us feel bad, especially if it makes us feel bad. And that's insane. But where, the nature of the mind is in many ways insane. And anyways, how to recover mentally after a game, I would say, realize that you have no real control over your mind. There's no like, where is the me or the I that has control over this other thing? Like the mind just happens. Your thoughts just happen, just like sensations in your body happen. All these things just kind of happen. And the best way to detach yourself from your thoughts is just by noticing them. And then I personally like just sort of paying attention to your sense perceptions or something that anchors you in this present moment that is not thoughts. The breath can be good, but maybe that's why like this person was struggling, was because the mind is like, the mind is like doing this with the breathing, and it's like, come on, calm down. So you can kind of take a step back and just be like, okay, what is the sensation of my body on the chair that I'm sitting on? Are there any smells? Is there any like physical, sensation or touch with my body I can notice? You're probably not tasting anything, but smells, sights, seeing all your physical senses can kind of anchor you into the present moment, just like an animal, just like a cat, dogs, cats, animals. They're all like pretty chill unless they're in an actual fight or flight moment. Unlike humans, we can just go into a full on fight or flight moment at any point. So that would be my recommendation. You can like do other things, like maybe force yourself, like maybe pick up a book and read. I would say don't try to avoid playing chess too late at night. I have noticed this will not only not help you sleep in your sleep schedule, but also for ruminating and all that kind of, try to end your day with like something relaxing. And that could be, I don't know, for each and every one of you, it might be different. Reading a book, listening to music, watching a movie. I don't know. For me personally, it's been reading a book lately. So, and then number 4 is how to love chess without burning out. So it's kind of the same thing. You're going to like and enjoy chess much more if you're less attached to the results, to achievement, mistakes, all these kind of things. I've already kind of covered this in some other videos, so I won't go too deeply into this. But again, it's unique for everyone. If you're feeling burnt out with chess, it's probably because you're playing too much without like compulsive playing. You don't even really want to play, but you're just doing it like a addiction, going on your phone, scrolling on TikTok, whatever. That's not going to make you feel good. Number 2, I would say, being too attached to results, raving, that kind of thing. And then number 5, just real quickly here, is because they mention the resignation mistake. Basically, the person resigned a winning position, if I understand, because let me just read this really quick. They said, it was a stupid pin through a check. Just the one time I played fast, I had the move already in my mind before, and I wanted to protect some pawns, and I thought I was completely losing because I would lose my rook. He saw it, and I resigned right away. The day after, I analyzed the game, and in fact, I was winning because his rook was trapped because of the position of my king, and I had a pass pawn. So the pin wasn't a problem. I mean, it's kind of hard to visualize all this, but it doesn't matter. Not hard to see if I keep calm. It was hard to deal with all of this. And actually, this is a really good point to end the video on. When you are in this fight or flight mode, when you're playing with fear, when you're not playing like our boy Tal, just smoking cigarettes and playing attacking chess, regardless of if the sacrifices are sound or not, you're gonna it's gonna impact your play. You're gonna believe your opponent's bad moves and blunders and mistakes. And the most dangerous player is someone who is confident. And when I say confident, I mean just like you believe in yourself. That doesn't mean that you think you're better than you are, but you believe in yourself and you're going to try your hardest, regardless of who you have in front of you. At the end of the day, whoever it is playing in front of you is not Magnus. It's probably not a grandmaster. They're probably not even that good at chess, and it can always be put into perspective. So just, to end the video, I would say never resign unless it's like really obvious. That's up to you guys, but my advice is to not resign in those kinds of positions. Hikaru. last little example here. Hikaru is notorious for being so damn hard to beat because he's resilient, and even in a dead loss position, he will fight tooth and claw until the end. Be like Hikaru. Fight. Don't give up. And, believe in yourself. So I hope that helps you guys. I know it's probably kind of all over the place, but if it does, please feel free to like and subscribe. I will come out with more content like this. If you would like to follow my own journey to 2000 on chess.com, also on FIDE, I have videos on both that I release regularly, and my streams. Check out my live streams. Would love to have you all. Chess nights in Paris as well. If any of you happen to find yourselves in France, in Paris, I have a little community and some chess nights that we do. So feel free to reach out. Check out the Discord. All right, I'll stop ranting. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.